Hello and welcome to What the Fort. Today we're in Stepcote Hill in Exeter, located in the western quarter. It's one of the oldest parts of the city still standing. It's seen royalty and extreme poverty, amazing surviving buildings, but also awful slum conditions. Let's find out more.
Running parallel to Fore Street, Stepcote Hill runs from the corner of King Street to West Street. The bottom of the hill has seen huge changes with the building of Western Way in the 1960s. This map shows the layout predating these changes.
The name of the hill comes from the word step and the word cot for enclosure. In 1270, the hill was known as Stepcote Hill, but by 1588 it had become the modern Stepcote Hill. Up until the construction of New Bridge Street in 1778, it was the main route up into the city from the river and had been since the Roman times. Many important visitors to the city came up Stepcote Hill. When William of Orange took the throne with Mary in 1688, he rode up Stepcote Hill with a large force. They'd landed at Brixham and were marching through Exeter on the way to London.
In the 18th century, the street was occupied by merchants selling a variety of goods. By the late 18th century, this included a butcher, which added to the waste being thrown into the street. Andrew Price, who visited at the time, commented that the guts, blood, litter, odour, and variety of nastiness are, in hard showers of rain, rapidly carried into the river down the hill. By the 19th century, the situation had got worse, with Mrs. Flashman fined 1 shilling in 1802 for throwing filth before her doorstep. The unhygienic conditions were combined with the smell of the local cattle market and slaughterhouse, a tannery, soap and candle makers, and flour mills. Disease was rife, and 15 people from Stepcote Hill died during the cholera outbreak of 1832 to 1834. In the 19th century, the trades listed for those living on the hill included John Hancock and Sons, manufacturers of tortoiseshell, ivory and horn combs, as well as general labourers, a plasterer, a lathe maker, a shoemaker, a shoe shiner, as well as 2 prostitutes who were arrested, we don't know what for. There was a single pub on the hill, the City Arms, but it had a rough reputation.
The 2 houses at the bottom right of the hill date to the 1500s. In 1897, number 11 West Street, closest to the hill, was run by Mrs. Sarah Cridland as a lodging house. Her neighbour at number 13 was a Mrs. Anne Whitfield, a potato dealer. By the start of the 20th century, the area had some of the worst living conditions in the whole of the southwest, and it was decided that the slum housing should be cleared. Luckily, some of the buildings were saved and restored. Many of the occupants of Stepcote Hill were moved out to the new Burnt House Lane estate on the outskirts of Exeter. The Church of St Mary Steps forms the bottom left part of the hill. Once known as St Mary Minor, the current 15th century church stands on the site of an earlier mid-12th century church.
To get into the church, you have to go up a flight of steps, hence the name St Mary Steps. The Norman font dates to the earlier 12th century church. The church also has a chancel screen which was saved from St Mary Major Church when that church was demolished in 1865. There is a particularly unusual clock on the outside of St Mary Steps Church. It's known as Matthew the Miller, but we don't know who Matthew was. On the hour, the central figure nods his head, and the men with javelins either side of him use the hammers at their feet to sound the bells.
This fascinating little street holds many of Exeter's stories, from royalty to the poorest, and it still has many visitors today. Thanks for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hope to see you soon.